Hey everyone, hope everyone's doing well and staying safe these days. Very excited to actually mention here I got my hands on the Surface Pro 11, Microsoft's latest generation of the Surface Pro devices. And this particular generation stands out because it exclusively only uses mobile processors, in this case the Snapdragon CPUs. This particular model is actually using Snapdragon X Elite, the upper tier of so far the Surface Pro 11. Another wonderful feature that this particular device has that I've been looking forward to myself on these Surface Pro, or even the laptops, is that this actually harnesses an OLED screen. I'm very excited to actually see how it's going to look. But that's actually only available on the Snapdragon X Elite class, and this particular model here has 512 gigabytes of SSD space, comes in the Sapphire, and 16 gigs of RAM, which I believe was about $14.99, so $1,500 right over there. The lower tier CPU of the Snapdragon does not have the option for OLED, so just something to keep in mind right there. So let's go ahead and get this opened up and take a look. You can tell by the color of the box I got my hands on the Sapphire color, but it also comes in a total of 4 colors: Sapphire, Dune, which kind of resembles the sandstone color that the Surface Laptop 4 and 5 had, the usual platinum color that we've been seeing for a long time, and also the black color, which also was introduced as well too. Let's go ahead and open this up. Little tab right down here. I'm going to go ahead and rip that off and just take a look. This wonderful looking box here and packaging actually opens up just like this, revealing the product. Amazing looking device we can actually see here. I'm just going to go ahead and lift this up and using the tab here and take a look. We do have this little paper and sticker just protecting the front of the screen. But as well, I'm going to go ahead and flip this up around since it's upside down. You can actually see it does label everything over here. We have a power button, we have a volume up and down button right over here. You can actually see those buttons right there, both of them. It does have the microphone up here, the front-facing camera, and also the hello camera right over here if you use Windows Hello to log in. Another microphone right over here. And on the side, we can clearly see the 2 USB 4 or Thunderbolt connections right over here, which do allow you to use high-speed transfer and also connect external monitors. I believe you can actually do a total of 3 external screens, not including the tablet itself. And on the right side over here, you can see the Microsoft connector right over there, which usually is used for power, but you can use this to connect to a dock. And just take a look at those 2 plugs over here, USB-C, Thunderbolt connections as well too. On the bottom, we can immediately see nothing really to see, no ports connection, so to speak, on the bottom, but once we lift up the little wonderful looking stand here that I've been a big fan of, you can actually see down here, it's the connection here for the Pro keyboard as well too. It is compatible with the previous generations of Pro keyboards as well, beginning from the Surface Pro 8 and also the Surface Pro X as well too. So just something to keep in mind. Even though this generation of Surface Pro does come with a new keyboard as well too, has a little CoPilot button on the keyboard itself. And over here we do have the little bay area to actually go ahead and upgrade and swap out the NVMe drives if you choose to do so. Right now there's currently a 512 gigabyte in there, but feel free to throw in a terabyte or two since those will become available as well. Taking a look at what else comes in the box as well, just put that aside. We do have our power plug over here right underneath. Looks like the very usual power plug. Can't really tell the wattage on this, but I'm probably going to guess like 45, probably not 65 from just judging from it, using our usual Microsoft connector here. And just a little power plug that is compatible and connects right to the plug itself. Over here, I'm guessing it's just going to be some welcome paperwork or warranty stuff and all that, just you want to go ahead and read that over if you like. With the protective sticky off, let's go ahead and power this on. I'm going to go ahead and hit the power button right up here. And we're going to go ahead and hit first boot. We do have here the 13-inch screen that the previous 2 generations of Surface Pro actually had, little rounded corners here, which was actually introduced from the last generation. And this screen actually has a 2880 by 1920 resolution. And of course, just like the last 2 generations, Surface Pro does boast a 120 Hertz screen if you choose to do so. Just mind you, obviously that does use more battery power, so they say, and actually is proven as well too. So you can always switch between 60 or 120 as you seem fit. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this performs in Windows 11 and seeing what application support it actually boasts and other little features as well too. While it's hard to actually demonstrate on camera, I can immediately say that the screen actually looks a little bit more clear and definitely a little bit brighter. So probably a small little testament there to the OLED screen that's now available on the Surface Pro series, which is definitely a feature, as I mentioned before, something I've been looking forward to seeing, and I'm pretty sure others have as well too. Let's go ahead and just hit yes here for the Windows 11 setup here, something you've actually seen a number of times before here, and I've definitely demonstrated this on previous review videos here. I'm going to go ahead and click on United States. And obviously you're going to be using only the USB keyboard. Go ahead and choose whichever keyboard you see fit. Obviously you can feel free, if I remember correctly, it will definitely ask you if you want to also choose a second keyboard layout. I definitely do have coworkers who switch between two keyboard layouts as well too. So go ahead and choose that. If not, go ahead and skip it. And feel free to continue on here. This is a portion that I usually skip and bypass for the most part because I do not generally use a Microsoft account. But if you have one and definitely want to use the benefits of owning one there and get you logged in, go right ahead, connect to Wi-Fi and get going there. So I'm going to go ahead and just bypass this portion. We are now here on the Windows 11 desktop. I'm still not connected to Wi-Fi, so if you actually go ahead and click on the little start button, you'll see a lot of little icons are just grayed out. Perfectly normal since they actually haven't downloaded and associated themselves with anything. So let's go ahead and just take a look at one little thing that I'm really looking forward to. And just right click here to get into the task manager and take a look at our processors right over here. System resource, you can see here using the Snapdragon X, the 12 core, the higher tier of the Surface Pro 11s. And just go ahead and click on logical processors. You can see all that. Also boasting 16 gigs of RAM, a little bit less, obviously being shared for display and graphics at the moment. Something new here, you actually do see something called the NPU, and you do see your GPU here as well too. So if I've read correctly, NPU has something to do association with AI. Very particular thing to actually, a little feature to have there. But as you notice, this particular device, as well as the previous generation of the Surface Pro, are very geared for that particular option. Even the keyboards do have that CoPilot button on the keyboard as well, available as well too. So let's go ahead and process some updates here. I'm sure this thing has a bunch of updates. Get connected to Wi-Fi and jump right back in. Took about 30 minutes or just a little over just to install all the Windows updates and one or two firmwares. One of them actually took a couple of minutes to install. For a moment there I was getting a little worried that it bricked the device, but it looks like we are all ready to go. To go ahead and install a couple of pieces of software as well too. Another browser, media player over here, and since I'll be doing some benchmarking as well too, to go ahead and install some benchmarking software also. Just before I get started though, let's go ahead and just take a look at two little settings over here. And just wanted to mention again just how wonderful the color is here. I don't even have this on full brightness at the moment, only about 85, and pretty much a decent charge here, almost just about 100%. And just go ahead and take a look at some things here. Display resolution, again, if you want to go ahead and take a look at that, 2880 by 1920 resolution. And as I mentioned before, the 120 hertz, which looks like it's already set, the refresh already set to 120, just out of the box. One more little thing I like to do here is jump into Task Manager. I'm not sure why it looks like it. I just realized that the color scheme right now that it just changes to changes the entire color background, the color of the window that's currently active. So that's kind of cute. And over here you can see all 12 cores of the Snapdragon 12 core, the more premium processor. You do have the option here for the Surface Pro 11. Again, 16 gigs of RAM. And looks like SSD over here, Wi-Fi and GPU down here, again having to do with the Snapdragon, and NPU, which basically has to do with the AI processor that's built into this device. The 120 hertz refresh rate really makes everything nice and smooth. I was actually very impressed just how well this thing was performing just out of the box. And enough about display here. Let's go ahead and jump into how the audio sounds. And go ahead and download this little audio clip from a royalty-free website called Bounce Sound. Go ahead and just check them out. I have used some of their music before, little tunesies when doing installations and other whatnot stuff right over here. Let's go ahead and jump on this. And let's go ahead and play this and see how it sounds. I'll go ahead and raise the volume as we need. Pretty amazing sound, as you can hear. I actually don't really hear any distortion on the playback over here, and even a decent amount of bass, which is really impressive as well too, considering the speakers on this device here are probably really small. But it really does excellent performance so far regarding sound. Sounds really nice and loud. You can tell I was actually incrementally raising the volume right there, push it up to 80, and for a moment there was just getting quite loud. I was a little concerned I was going to hear distortion, but no, it didn't seem like I actually heard any. So definitely top notch over here. And probably another thing to do is just play another, do a little video playback, and we'll hear how the audio sounds on that as well too. All right, here we are, just doing the front-facing camera over here, just a little video, and I'm also using the microphone built into the device itself. The picture quality actually looks pretty good here. I believe it's 1440p, and just using the regular camera app in the Windows 11, it does give you the option to do some little effects here. I'm just going to do a little blur here. Does have other options as well too, the automatic framing and also the eye contact, which I did try to mess with a little earlier. It looks a little, I don't know, that feature's a little creepy, but if you enjoy it and it definitely is beneficial for you for your meeting or anything you're actually trying to do, then go for it. But here it is, just a quick video test, and also a microphone test as well too, just pure microphone here, not using Bluetooth headphones or a little speaker puck or any external microphone here, just pure tablet recording right over here. Now, one unfortunate thing doing this review here is I was not able to get the matching touch Alcantara keyboard, particularly the new model keyboard, as I actually found out in the store, that will actually match this color. Probably should have just picked up another one, but So unfortunately, I'm not able to really demonstrate the new keyboard there. The basic build and layout is kind of the same of the basically the Pro keyboard that's existed for the Pro 8 and Pro 9. And I believe even the Surface Pro X as well too, while it lived, so to speak. But one wonderful feature that particular keyboard does have is the option to actually use Bluetooth wireless. So even if you're actually using it detached, like I basically have this attached here, once you plug it in and just disconnect it, you can actually still use the keyboard and especially the touchpad with your Surface Pro 11, and that's really an impressive thing. One thing I'd like to know as well too is if that will actually work for the previous versions like the 10, the 9, the 8. And I'm going to probably say it probably will work as long as your device has Bluetooth capability, which in this case obviously the Surface Pros definitely do. While doing the updates on the Pro 11, I did notice the device got a little toasty in the back, and also because it was charging at the same time. So it's definitely something to keep in mind here. There is a little vent back here that I probably didn't demonstrate a little bit earlier. You can actually see that little slit there. I don't hear the fan at all now, but maybe during some benchmarking or even a little video game playing at some point later in the video, you probably will actually go ahead and hear that. And once I actually notice that, I'll go ahead and put the microphone near so you can get a little sense of what that fan is. But don't expect it to be anything loud. I don't think it'll probably surpass anything beyond 10 or 12 decibels, even at full speed. But the device does get a little toasty when doing some updates and even charging the battery at the same time as I was a moment ago. I'm pretty sure it's going to get a little toasty doing benchmarks in just a little bit. And speaking of benchmarks, let's go ahead and get our first benchmark over here, one of my favorites. Just run basically the Crystal Disk Mark to see how this device, the SSD on this device actually performs. Let's go ahead and just do one round of tests. Obviously this test will just take a little bit long. And since I did bring up the idea of the battery and everything getting a little toasty, battery life here is supposed to really give you a good, just about 14 hours of use. I would say about good video playback, maybe a couple hours less, 10 to 11 to 12 if you're going to be just doing web browsing consistently on the device. Maybe even having Microsoft Word open and other stuff like that. So obviously the idea of using the Snapdragon is really just to give you better battery life and more mobility as well too. The unfortunate little drawback with, as I mentioned earlier, with the Snapdragon using, I like to call it the mobile processor. The unfortunate thing here, the drawback, as I just learned while doing Windows updates and a little bit after installing a bunch of software, is that not all software might be compatible. There's obviously some software that's obviously running pretty easily, like Firefox, VLC seems to be running. Arch benchmarking software right here working pretty well, but not everything can be emulated really well to run on this Snapdragon. Either that, or it's just not optimized just yet. One little example I can give you is I was trying to install Microsoft Office 2019, older version granted, but I just wanted to go ahead and install it. And obviously I just install it just for demo purposes, and obviously the device gets wiped, or I just go ahead and just erase it and reinstall Windows. And installation went off without a hitch, but I was unable to open anything. Excel and Word, it seems like it was running Task Manager, the processes were there, even OneNote, but nothing appeared on the screen. So it's something I have not seen on any other device that I've done a review on, even done a video on. So I'm just going to go ahead and basically say that probably has something to do with the processor, or maybe just perhaps some update that just wasn't processed. But I could even get to the option to even try updating it. So something to look into at one point, but that was a major turn down there, and just a step back, unfortunately. But let's jump into the device, and what we do have here is a benchmark here of our SSD. Very impressive read speeds, 3.5 gigabytes, 3.6 actually, pretty much, and just a little under 2.5 gigabytes of write speed. Those are actually pretty impressive numbers. I can't complain. Definitely better numbers than I've seen on other devices, kind of matching up the speeds I've seen on the Surface Pro 9. And I absolutely cannot complain on any of these numbers over here. This is really impressive so far for one benchmark so far over here. Looks like the wallpaper actually changed just a moment ago. I do have Geekbench here open, so go ahead and do a basic benchmark here. I did go ahead and plug in the device, just obviously it can run on decent full power. It's not going to be thinking it's running solely off battery, trying to preserve performance or anything. So let's just go ahead and try to run this. Run a little basic CPU benchmark here, and this will probably just take a little while. See how it performs, give you some numbers, and take a look at what results we get there. All right, and here are the results of that benchmark right over there from the CPU benchmark from Geekbench. And as I mentioned, the device in the rear definitely has gotten quite a bit toasty all around. I don't hear the fan, or don't even feel the fan, the ventilation ports over here throwing the air out, but it did go ahead and get a little warm pretty much during the later part of the test, I would say. And just out of curiosity, let's go ahead and run the GPU benchmark as well too, and let's see if this does causes the device to get a little even more toastier, so to speak, and what numbers we actually get. And there's the OpenCL benchmark score for the GPU on this particular device right over here. As I mentioned before, I didn't actually change the power plan on this. It's actually running at balance right now. Obviously, you can possibly get higher scores. I believe you will get higher scores if you go ahead and throw it to high performance and stuff like that. But I just want to go ahead and demonstrate the numbers you'll get just on this device out of the box. Again, the device did get a little toasty, but I don't actually hear the fan on the back at this time yet. So let's go ahead and jump in and see how some video playback performs on this particular device. Something I usually like to do in these benchmarking videos. Alright, here we are. I'm just playing a video here that was recorded in Krakow in Poland, in Old Town, last year. This was actually filmed in 4K. I do have it running right now off YouTube, and it's currently running at 1080. Let's go ahead and full screen it. I'll bring the microphone a little closer. Probably raise the volume a little bit as well too. And I'm going to slowly jump it up to 1440 and 4K to see how it actually performs here. See if any skips or anything like that. And I'm going to go ahead and unplug the power here, running solely off battery. No complaints here, running at 1080. I'm going to go ahead and push it up to 1440 and see how that performs as well too. As always, I usually like to pause it here just so there's no buffering hiccups there, which can be confused for, obviously performance issues and frame skipping. On the OLED on this really serves a really wonderful purpose when it comes to picture here. It looks absolutely amazing. And the 120 Hertz refresh rate definitely does not hurt either.
1440 working without a hitch, no hiccups here, no frame skip or anything, no buffering issue. Let's go ahead and jump to 4K. 60 frames per second as well too.
And again, I'll go ahead and pause it just so there's no little buffering issue there. Give it a moment to just catch up, and let's go ahead and hit play.
Not a single issue from what I can see and hear so far. The sound, again, sounds absolutely amazing. You can literally hear the steps on the brick roads over there from people walking by. And sounds absolutely amazing, looks absolutely amazing. Just bumped into the camera right there, by accident. No issues with playback whatsoever so far. Just moving around a little bit to see if it actually induced any particular little frame skip or any hiccup there, but no, nothing there at all. You can really see the layout of the brick road there and sidewalks and everything. Just looks really nice on this picture. Reminds me of watching on my 4K TV, which is also an OLED screen as well too. Definitely a big improvement, and obviously something a lot of people, including myself, have been looking for in the Surface Pro series, the option for an OLED on-screen display right there. There's a cute little game I've actually been playing here and there, Oregon Trail. One of many versions over the last couple of decades, actually. But this one's actually really interesting, really fun to play, and really happy to see that it is compatible and works pretty well. Matter of fact, the graphics and everything's actually working really well on this. Now, obviously, this is not an intense kind of game, you know, first-person shooter, Crisis or something like that, but just an entertaining game that runs really well on this particular device here. No complaints from the Surface Pro 11, even with a Snapdragon CPU. And everything seems to be running pretty smoothly. No little complaints here. While I go ahead and repair the wagon. Go ahead and do that one more time. This is a very entertaining game. If you ever actually played the original, who knows how many older computers from like the 80s, feel free to go ahead and give this game a shot. It's very entertaining, and it definitely will not upset you. You can see I did temporarily go ahead and plug in the keyboard here, a touch keyboard here. This is the one I actually use with my Surface Pro 8, and works perfectly fine, is perfectly compatible. As I mentioned, previous versions of the Pro keyboard do work with this Surface Pro 11 without a problem. Obviously, you don't have that wireless Bluetooth capability, but if you just want your keyboard here to work, just like I am here, playing the Oregon Trail game,
then obviously you have no problem right over there. Just going to go ahead and open up the Surface app right here. And sorry if that's a little too bright there. And it does obviously mention, go ahead and focus in. Sorry about that. Welcome to your Surface Pro 11th edition. So interesting, they just don't call it the Surface Pro 11, they're just calling it 11th edition, which might actually be the name scheme when the next variations and updates to the Surface Pro series and other devices start to kick in. And you'll see here, it just gives you some information here and options here, warranty, all this other stuff, and pretty impressive, all this nutty stuff I was actually doing. The battery only went down just about 2%. That can obviously be inaccurate. I don't know where it'll probably just be 90 or 85, but I just wanted to go ahead and demonstrate that there to you. It does give you some options here. Obviously, new version of the app, all that good stuff, battery and charging. 41 days left to get extended warranty coverage. Interesting. But just some information there for your Surface Pro device. As usual, one thing I enjoy doing on these devices, even if though it doesn't really prove much, but just something nice to see, is a full restart and shutdown test as well too. So I'm going ahead and just lean this back a little bit. I still have the keyboard plugged in. I'm going ahead and take that out. Pure Surface Pro by itself, and doing a little restart test right over here. Real shame I wasn't really getting my hands on the Surface Pro keyboard. They just didn't have it in this particular blue color that I got this device on. I guess I could have just gone in another color, platinum, black, and the kind of the sandstone looking color as well too. But I did want to go ahead and match up with the device, so it's a shame that they didn't actually have it. I was actually thinking of just getting my hands on the previous generation of the Pro keyboard, just matching this particular color. But, you know, obviously with new versions of the devices coming out, the older ones just go out. So they did not have one in that color either. Just the platinum color, which, I mean, I'm guessing in case owners of the previous device iterations of Surface Pro come in and say, hey, I need a keyboard. And the Fifth Avenue store, unfortunately, did not have that. So here we go. Took about a little around 30 seconds or so for the restart, which isn't too bad. Let's go ahead and do a full shutdown. Obviously not a full shutdown, just a form of a deep hibernate. Go ahead and hit shutdown over here. I'm going to go ahead and just power it right back on as soon as this logo disappears. Usually just take a moment. I can actually still see a little small glare from the screen, but I'm going to go ahead and try to power it on. Not yet. Oh, I just actually heard the fan. I'm not sure if you heard that. Just go whoosh. Almost sounded like the sea there for a moment, and it just shut right back off. Very interesting. Did witness something like that as well too when I was doing Windows updates, so don't be too surprised if you're doing updates and a firmware update just kicked in and I don't know where you hear that little fan just rev up. Very similar to how a video card would just rev up its fans when you first turn on a desktop computer. Actually, that's probably the best way I can describe it. So, just about the same time. It actually feels like it took a little bit longer. Not the most impressive speed I've seen in terms of a full shutdown and basically just turn it right back on, usually from the startup. Seeing the Windows logo, I would say within 5 to 8 to 10 seconds max, it actually just appeared, but it looks like this one took a little bit longer. So just a little bit of, not particularly a benchmarking test, but something I definitely enjoy sharing, and hopefully some people like to see. I went ahead and watched a couple of YouTube videos and just a little bit of browsing for about 30 minutes and an hour, and noticed the battery life is still pretty impressive, just around 80% or 79% as you can see here, which is still pretty good considering how much work I've actually put this through. So perhaps the battery life is really impressive considering the CPU and the specifications that's mentioned for the Surface Pro 11. And I actually was right from an earlier little comment I made where I noticed that the battery life is only down to like 96, 97% after doing a couple of benchmarking and other stuff. Once I went ahead and rebooted the device, I noticed that the battery life was already at like 93. So maybe a little hiccup there in battery, but it didn't jump down to like 80%. So putting battery life aside, let's go ahead and jump into another little topic here, something that the Surface Pro 11 has been mentioned a lot in advertising and whatnot. CoPilot. I still have a habit of calling it CoPilot though for some reason. Someone let me know if that was actually the original name that Microsoft had intended for this app. For the entire AI thing. I'm not particularly the greatest fan of AI, after having received a couple of emails and whatnot that clearly were generated by like ChatGPT or other AI programs. Imagine someone writing you a letter and you just realize the entire thing was just written by AI with a couple of words thrown in here just to make it a little bit more personal. It's, I don't know, it just doesn't really say too much about that. But putting all that personal thought aside, go ahead and do a little thing here. So let's see, let's go ahead and toss in a quick question. I don't know, let's see. Tell me about, and you can dictate speech onto that, and I will absolutely go ahead and do that. Tell me about the Surface, of course I misspelled that by accident, Neo. I don't know if anyone remembers what the Neo was, introduced a couple of years ago. And unfortunately, oh actually not Neo, the Duo. No, it is a Neo. And let's go ahead and see what it says. Give it a moment here. And yes, it is a Neo. The device, unfortunately, just never saw the light of day. And did actually look really impressive. Basically a device that's basically two tablets, and was actually going to run a version of Windows 10 called Windows 10 X, which not many people may know Windows 11 is completely based off. And this device, unfortunately, just never saw the light of day. Now, it's kind of funny. I did actually look this up previously, just before recording this little clip here. Gave me a completely different answer. But same idea, even though it did actually mention it's been postponed indefinitely as opposed to previously when it actually said it has been delayed over and over, or basically some words attributing to that particular effect. And very interesting, actually. It gave me a different answer, even though I did exactly the same thing. So let's do another one. And this one, I'm actually going to go dictate this one. It's probably going to ask me permission to use the mic. Perfectly fine. Please compare the Surface Pro 10 to the Surface Pro 11. And let's just see what answer I get here. It's taking a little bit of time, but...
Sure. Here's a comparison between the Surface Pro 10 and the Surface Pro 11. Surface Pro 10. Processor, Intel Core Ultra CPUs, 12-core Intel Core Ultra 5 135U up to 12-core Intel Core Ultra 7 165U. Display, 13-inch PixelSense Flow display.
Okay, I went ahead and just shut off the audio because obviously it's going to take a while to just read everything here, but it did give me a pretty good, thorough comparison of both. Surface Pro 10, obviously based on the Intel Ultra CPUs. I definitely did a review on that. Go ahead and check it out if you'd like. And some other little options here, all the maximum memory, everything else, limited. This is interesting. Colors, limited color options. But we go down to the 11, we see more color options. Call me crazy, but it sounds like a little bit of an ad right there trying to tell you one is better than the other. That's unfortunate because the Surface Pro 10 actually was a pretty good device and still based on an Intel or an AMD CPU. And it does give you more thorough options here. Factors, obviously, the Qualcomm Snapdragon CPU that we have here. And obviously, optional OLED touch display, which is an amazing feature that the Surface Pro 11 has. So, this is how CoPilot pretty much works. Let's just see if, let's try this. Find me a video review of the Surface Pro 10. Obviously here it's doing its job, and eventually I'm sure it's going to announce a result. Might even show me some.
Sure. Here's a video review of the Surface Pro 10 by my next tablet. The review covers the device's bright display, performance.
I was actually hoping my video will pop up there, but obviously there's some reviews over the Surface Pro 10 that have a gazillion more views than mine, but I'm sure this video here, well, 9.9 views. So mine's, I think it has like 4 or 5K last time I looked. Very nice. Would have been cool if it did give some other options, or maybe even give you the option to just show me the next video. But who knows? You know, this feature is eventually going to start learning those kind of suggestions and start doing it as well too. Let's go ahead and try one more. Maybe something funny my nephews might like. Show me the latest Jurassic World Legos.
Here are some of the latest Jurassic World Lego sets. Baby Bumpy Ankylosaurus 76962. Pieces 358. Price $24.99. Description: features a cute... That's pretty funny. Ankylosaurus, that's actually one of my nephew's favorite little dinosaurs. Well, at least a couple of years ago. He probably forgot the little conversation he had when he was 6 years old. But let's try one more. I've actually been playing some retro gaming and let's see if this actually works. Show me all the bonus levels in Donkey Kong Country 2. Donkey Kong Country 2. Diddy's Conquest features numerous bonus levels hidden throughout its stages. These bonus levels are essential for collecting Creme coins, which are needed to access the Lost World and ultimately achieve 102% completion of the game.
Well, that's actually true. 102% completion, the Creme coins, with that guy with the big thing there that'll just knock you off the club. He'll just knock you right off the bridge if you try to fight him, which is kind of silly because you never can win. But very interesting. But seems like I was actually really more interested in actually seeing the bonus levels as opposed to hearing about the bonus levels. So again, more of the little things here, even though they give me a game facts guide. So that's always useful. You click there and you'll probably see every bonus level and DK coin, all that good stuff. So yeah, very interesting option here. It really does look very attractive and everything. If you're gonna just really just need to look for something real quick, or just want to look up something, obviously the Olympics going on here. So for example, probably gonna be the last little thing I mention here. Who won the women's water polo in the Olympics?
The Australia women's water polo team won the gold medal at the Paris 2024 Olympics. They defeated the United States in a dramatic penalty shootout during the semifinals, ending the U.S. team's streak of 3 consecutive Olympic gold medals.
Yeah, I actually watched a little piece of that game, and unfortunately I completely missed out the shootout, which is basically like the equivalent of penalty kicks in soccer. And unfortunately I did see that last play. So, it is what it is, but they definitely did win the silver. I actually didn't even know that was actually for the gold medal. I just thought it was, to actually get to the finals or for the match for the gold medal. But yeah, pretty interesting, pretty speedy, very, very useful thing. Obviously, I'm sure this CoPilot will definitely be getting better over time as it supposedly learns our, more factors about our requests and whatnot. And, maybe just one more question. Tell me the weather in New York City for Friday.
On Friday, New York City is expected to have showers and possibly a thunderstorm. The high temperature will be around 81 degrees Fahrenheit with a southeast wind blowing at 10 to 20 miles per hour and gusts up to 31 miles per hour.
Oh yeah, sorry to actually have to apologize if any of the rain outside's being picked up or cars with water splashing is being picked up on the mic, but yeah, it's basically rain right now. It's going to rain tomorrow as well too, as we have a tropical storm heading our way towards the weekend as well too. So yeah, it does really give you some good details, even throws in the forecast for the next couple of days as well too. So very interesting feature. I'm very tempted to throw in some more questions, but I think everyone here gets the idea. Hey everyone, thanks again for watching the unboxing and video review here of the Surface Pro 11. Going through a couple little factors of the device, so basically sound quality, video quality as well too. Checking out CoPilot, running the video on there, seeing how the cameras work, and other little features there as well too, and even checked out one little game there as well too. Gaming's probably another video I'm going to jump into, as well as possibly installing other pieces of software and seeing what other features the device has. It's really soon to say how I really feel about this device. It's only been just a handful of days since I really started using it, got Windows 11 all set up, and actually started using it on my own. So it'll probably be a couple more days when I can really do a good follow-up after using it for watching YouTube videos, watching other videos, watching a couple of movies on VLC player you probably saw there. That's something I didn't actually cover, just video playback, and other little things as well too, doing some web browsing. It was unfortunate I wasn't able to get Office 2019. I know, yes, definitely an older version, but still just a couple of years and should have been supported out of the box. But that's something probably that may have been rectified and resolved by an update, which it's hard to update Office when you can't even get it installed. So I'm pretty sure Office 365 should run without a hitch, considering it was pre-packaged with this particular device, and actually pretty much pre-packaged with any device that runs Windows 11. So that obviously shouldn't be an issue there. But I guess again in a couple of days I'll probably do a little follow-up and possibly some other videos, maybe do a little bit, see how gaming performance is on it, considering, or seeing which games actually run on it. Don't expect to install Steam and just get everything, all 100% games that you have there run on this device. Don't forget, it is running emulation. Even the Snapdragon CPU is doing emulation, and obviously, as you can see, even some little pieces of software I've already run into just don't work correctly. Even antivirus software would not install that I've installed on other devices and other review videos, but it is what it is. Little by little, we'll see exactly how this device with its platform and processor really evolves, and what the best use for it. Something I definitely plan to follow up on is the battery life. So far, I think right now the device is at a good 75% battery after using it for a couple of benchmarks, video playback, and everything else you just saw there in the review video. So go ahead and shoot a like and subscribe if you really enjoyed this video. I really would appreciate it, and look forward to other stuff as well too. As I said, I will be doing some follow-up videos on this device, and look forward to it. Thanks again for watching, everyone. As always, stay safe. Take care.
Can you install Windows 10 on the Surface Pro 11?
Yes, you can install Windows 10 on the Surface Pro 11. Here are the steps to do so. Create a bootable USB drive. Download the Windows 10 ISO file from the Microsoft website. Use a tool like the Windows USB/DVD download tool to create a bootable USB drive.
It sounds like the topic for a new video.